here learn how to make money. I have that ability to share with you how to find multiple ways of doing it. But most of you are trying to do that metal detector guy on the beach who's looking for someone that lost some coins, or maybe they lost their wedding ring. And how many times did he really find something like that? Probably not that often. But he knows that what if he does? It pays for all the times he was out there wandering around to his age. But in his money, he's out there getting his own wealth insurance. He is seeing himself in process.
Hello.
And if it happens that he finds something, well, that's all the better. But he enjoys doing what he's doing. Do you enjoy doing this? I saw a tweet this morning from a person saying,
कर लेंगे अभी हम तो बिजी हैं
how you doing? And I don't know if I should say it.
जी ठीक है
The fact that you said and you tweeted that, you have branded that on your soul. Your very spirit now has that very thing attached to it. And you have no idea the difficulty that you're going to have to work beyond it. When you vocalize, okay, because in tongue there's power. Okay, it's the power of giving life and taking life. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. I can say to you, you are one of my best students.
You are so good at what you've done. You've done so well training and listening and following all the rules. And if I was to say that to you, you would feel empowered. Oh, it's awesome. ICT said that about me, man. It's great. I feel so good. Or if I sat down with one of you and said, look at you. You are a waste of a student. You've done nothing correctly. You've literally wasted your time and you don't do anything right. It's all your fault. So be miserable, stay in that state of mind. I don't want to waste my time on you. Wow. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't talk to my students like that. What I do is I show them what they're doing incorrectly, so that way they can correct themselves. If you were off course in a ship, one small little degree off early on in your development or your course of departure, you're leaving your port of departure, heading towards some destination. If that ship is off 1 degree, just 1 degree over the course of your entire journey, you will not arrive on time. You might be able to calibrate later on in the middle of the journey when you discover that you're on the wrong path. But why would you want to do that? Keep your bearings. Know exactly where you're here, what you're here for, why you're here. It's to learn how to make money, how to read these charts, get that skill set. If you don't focus on that and let that be your #1 driving reason for being here, you'll get distracted with other things. You won't be that diligent about your study. You'll let the drama, the pain, the discomfort of the process that everybody has to go through. You want it to be faster. And the more you want it to be faster, quicker for you to understand it, the longer it's going to be. Because you're wasting time and energy and effort worrying about how to speed it along instead of just going through the normal, everyday approach to going through it. There's only way to go through it is to go forward. That's it. There's no around shortcut. There's no faster way. There's nobody out there going to be able to condense this so that way you understand it correctly. The only thing they can talk about, they could be an echo. Take a small little sampling of something I've said, and it sounds amazing to the first-time listener. They'll, well, this is awesome. This is great. Well, I understand it. I created it. But it's going to be short in their understanding, and they won't know when the best time to use that specific tool, that approach, that mindset. And they leave it to the audience to come with their own result. And they'll pony show that. And they'll say, look what I'm doing. I'm teaching. I'm making all my students profitable. When the only thing you've done is echoed. And you've done it in an incomplete manner. That's how I'm talking to my students. They're quickly trying to go out there and create a name for themselves as a teacher. If that's what you want to do, get the experience, learn it properly. You aren't done learning yet. Everything I've taught, I still have things to talk about. None of my charter members are complete. They may have a model, they may have profitability, they may have no real need to come to me anymore. But if you're going to weigh out in the balances, do they know everything that I know or was willing to teach or that I already taught? No, none of them do. Not one of them do that. Because the ones that are profitable, they found what they were looking for while going through the process. And none of them have came back to me and said, what I came to you looking for and had in mind what I was going to learn, I learned it exactly, and it was exactly what I was expecting. They all said, I didn't even see this coming. And now this is what I trade, and I'm completely comfortable. Are you willing to be flexible like that? Because that's what's required. You have to have that flexibility, that ability to adapt. Because again, when you come to someone as a student, or you're not even a student yet, you come here with the expectation you're going to learn how to make money. That's great. Hold on to that. Hold on to that. Because if you don't have that, you'll quit. Because if you're here to just feel good, like it's some kind of club, some kind of a community that just keeps everybody hopped up on goofballs, feeling good. And I try to do that when it's appropriate. When we're expecting a certain market move to happen or a certain level get hit, you know, I'll put some kind of a little bit of a spin on it, whether it be a meme or some kind of backhanded remark, just to create some emotional response, because that way it anchors it to you. You'll remember it because of that. Whereas if I just say it's going to go here, it goes there, and I never talk about it anymore, it just goes, you won't see that as something that is a milestone, which is important to see marked, logged, recorded in a journal, because you will encounter times when it feels like you can't do it. It feels like it won't make sense. You can come to me with this spirit of expectation and have the right mindset, saying, okay, I know nothing, I'm ready to learn. And then what happens is, because I have so many things to teach, I have so many approaches to going into the marketplace and finding setups. That was my weakness. I was afraid to enter the trades because I had no real understanding in 1992 what I was doing. So the entirety of 1993 and 94, I developed entry models because that's what I was fearful of. And I believed that I needed to be in every price swing. Every time something happened in the marketplace, I had to know why it did that. And because I'm obsessively compulsive, I poured all my energy and time into understanding what causes all these types of movements. And I want you to know that everything I've taught thus far is more than enough. What have you done with it? See, when you come to me and you want to learn and you're in the right mindset and you start learning new things and new concepts and approaches and things that help fortify your understanding of price action, you get addicted to that. And I do my best to make it sticky. So that way you want to come back, because it's easy to talk yourself out of it in the beginning. It's easy. It's easy to say this is too hard. But I'm aware as a mentor, I'm a realist. There's going to be people that come to me with all the right intentions, even with the proper mindset. I will fail them as a mentor because of something I can't do. And I'm a human. I can't meet every expectation of every student that comes to me. I understand that. And I wish that I could get that reach to be able to get that person that I can't fully communicate the understanding that they're lacking. But I'm a realist. I know that I'm going to fail some of you. In that regard, I will. But it doesn't cancel the responsibility that you have. You have to make a real conscious effort to do this and stay motivated And the way you stay motivated is, why are you doing it? Why are you here? Are you here because you've seen no evidence that these things work, or you've seen evidence that other people have even used the content and they're making real money? Chances are that's probably what's happening. I think I'm seeing the biggest growth because of that very thing. People are making money. They're attributing it to what they learned from me, and I'm so thankful and appreciative of that. It's all they're asked for, because when they come here and they hear me, they can hear me say these words: I have been blessed. Whether you choose to believe in God or not, I know He exists, and you learned what He gave me. And I'm a firm believer, because I'm cheerfully giving it to you. He continuously blesses me, not only in this, but He blesses my life in other things as well. But I'm worried about you, the person that watches the video and thinks you understand everything because you watched the video at 2 times the speed without even taking notes and thinking, I'm going to go out there and do it with my live account. I don't want you to do that. I want you to learn it properly. And I want you to be absolutely bored to death that you know exactly what you're doing. That's how you know you're ready to trade. That's how you know it's good for you to go out there and try to get those funded accounts. It's good for you to then consider trading with real money, because you know that you're not all hopped up. You're not excited about making the money. You're just, well, I'm ready. I mean, I can do it. I'm not scared. I'm not terribly excited. I'm going to be overconfident. This is the rule-based idea I'm following. It seems to work a lot. It fails sometimes, but I'm able to come back from that. It doesn't knock the legs out from underneath me. It just means that I took a loss. And then I have to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing and keep the losses minimized. And let money management and trade management, in the model I follow, dictate the outcome. And don't put time limits on your success. I have to be this by that. No, you don't. Trust me. That date on the calendar, that time will come, and you'll still be here breathing. The things around you will still be the way they are, even if you don't get there because that was a goal you set. Goals have to be flexible. They're time-based, yes, but they're not in stone. They're just coordinates. I'm aiming for this destination. Well, your destination should be excellence. That's it. You should always be aiming for excellence. And you're going to find that you're going to have to calibrate yourself throughout the progress and process of getting to that destination. You're not going to get there overnight. Nobody, believe me, man, if there was somebody on this planet that was going to be able to do it overnight, I swear to God, I believed I was going to be it. Look at the level of accuracy that my skill set and concepts have given to other people and what I'm able to showcase. Before it happens, I explain to you what's going to happen. And I still can't be what I thought I was going to be when I first started. When I first started to really understand what I had in my hands. Because me as a human being, I wrestle with, I was going to reply this, I don't know if it's a guy or girl now that I think about it, but one of the guys follow me on Twitter. They mentioned, like, how do you overcome, when you don't do it right, or if you lose money, like, how do you keep pressing forward? Well, it goes back to what you're doing. Why you're doing it. See, I worked a lot of stupid jobs. And while we were driving down to Florida, I asked my wife, I said, when you were younger, how many jobs have you had? And she's like, I don't know. And we sat there and thought about it. And her list was really, really short. I had like 27 jobs. 27 jobs as a young man. I bounced around, like, now some of them are like 1 or 2 days, but I was there, right? I was there, I did the job, and I said, to hell with this, I ain't doing this. As soon as I got under the pressure of someone I knew was an idiot that did not know what they're doing, I couldn't be under them. I was like, you know what? I can't. This person has no idea what they're doing. They don't know how to manage people. They don't even know their own job. And if you're going to sign on to a job and they're not going to properly train you, what does that mean? You're going to be stressed out. And chances are they're probably going to get rid of you anyway because you aren't able to do the job that they can't train you to do properly anyway. So, see ya. Well, in this endeavor, I tried to be the best manager. If you were to come to me as a student, I look at you as a college student. I'm the college itself. I'm the college professor. I'm the teacher. Okay, so I'm trying to fill all those seats, wear all those hats, and I'm trying to be as personable as I possibly can. I am giving you more time than any other person out there, whether they charge money or do it for free. Nobody is investing more into you than I am. Nobody is. I'm doing it more than you are. I believe in you more than you do. I know what you're doing incorrectly, and I know how to overcome that. But whether you're willing to listen to that good advice or not remains to be seen. And I have students that don't want to listen. And they stay exactly where they started when they first came here. And some of them get bent out of shape. And they blame their failure on me. And it's not accurate. You're just doing things incorrectly or not doing the things I'm told you to do. Or doing it long enough. It took me 6 years. 6 years, folks. What if I would have said, all right, guys, my name's Michael Huddleston. You know, I know how to trade these markets. I'm going to show you what to do. I'm going to prove it beforehand. I'm going to show you what it's going to do. Bada bing, bada boom. And then it said at the end of 30 days of calling it every single day correctly, and it did exactly what I was expecting it to do, say, okay, now, who wants to sign up to learn how to do this? And it's going to take you 6 years. Right away. Oh, no, man, I got things to do. I'm sorry, there's a guy over on YouTube that's doing something in Discord for $30 a month. I'm going to go there. No. So the way I teach is I lay breadcrumbs down. I give you what I think is going to happen in the future. So I predict the future using tools and concepts that I've already taught. So that way you can see, does this resonate with you? Do you like the feeling of seeing us as a community look for the market to do a specific thing? And then when it comes to pass, how do you feel? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like it's just luck? Do you feel like it is just another day at the job? It should be that, just another day at the job. When you go to work this coming week, for those of you who have jobs, do you feel like you need to go home and tell your friends and coworkers that you meet outside the workplace? Or go online and say, I had the most amazing day at work. You have no idea. I processed so many accounts today. I was the head of everybody else. Look how many accounts I processed today. And I only lost one customer, but I got it back because I picked up a new customer over here. That's the same thing what everybody wants to do in trading. They want to go do their trades, go on social media, and say, look at this trade I did over here. Look. I made this many pips. I made this many handles, this many points. Yeah, I got stopped out over here, but I got it back over here. I corrected my drawdown. Look at this. That's not the right mindset. You don't do it at your job. Why? Because nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you did to earn your paycheck. They don't care. They only care what you drive, where you sleep, how you spend your money, what you dress like. Because they won't be content where they are in the skin. You knew what you wanted to do, but now you're in front of the charts and you're watching live practice action and you can't do it. You're waiting for something to appear as a nudge. a little, you're right, now take it. And many of us, when we first start, we call that confirmation. The only thing that it confirms is you sat there too long. That's what it confirms. You sat there too long. Now it's already moved. It would be better for you to wait for some kind of a down close candle in a lower time frame, reach into a fair value gap if you're bullish, and then use that. Don't chase running higher price when you're bullish. Don't do it. Don't do it, because the only thing you're doing is increasing the likelihood of your stop loss needing to be larger than it's necessary to be, or making it harder for you to hold the trade, because you're going to know as soon as you enter it, you're going to be demanding subconsciously that it moves right away in your favor, and you don't want to see any kind of drawdown. Whereas if you're bullish, and this is how I teach, so it overcomes a lot of the built-in fears that are associated with being poorly placed in a trade or chasing price. So if you're bullish, I'm teaching you to buy what? A down close candle, or a candle that's forming a likely down close candle, but it need not close down. It could be trading lower and still have a higher close. But at the time of your entry, if you're bullish, you're waiting for price to go lower into an inefficiency or run below a short-term low to take those stops. So you're going to buy sell stops or buy inefficiency on a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. You're going to buy that rebalancing to close up and overlap that up close candle that you're seeing as an inefficiency. So you're buying against the grain of price delivery versus impulsively chasing it. In the beginning, because you think as a trader, just like I did, I want to be in a market that has the market going up. Like I want to be in a move that's going up. It's too scary. I'm speaking hypothetically and in retrospect to how it was when I first started. So as a 20-year-old, I was afraid to buy things when it was moving lower. To me, it made no sense. I mean, it literally made no sense whatsoever to go in and try to pick a bottom. That's what I was looking at it as, because I heard my mentor say, you got to avoid trying to pick bottoms. They're like catching falling knives. You have to wait for that dagger to fall, hit the ground, stop quivering, then gingerly go over and pick it up. That's verbatim. That's literally right out of that Ford cassette tape VHS course that he had from 1995. It was ingrained in me, just like the things that I say to you as your mentor. I'm not in the room with you, but you'll see something in the charts and you'll hear my voice saying the very thing that you had a resonation with in a video or a lecture, maybe something in this one today. And you'll hear my voice, you'll know exactly what I said verbatim, because it left an indelible mark on you. It made an impact on you psychologically, so you think differently as a result of it. In the beginning, when you have no real clue what you're doing, no model, you can become very impulsive. But as a new student with a model, with all the right motivation, you still can be impulsive. What does that mean? What does that mean? What's the contrast between what I've already said so far versus someone that now has a model, has all the right mindset, has listened to all the proper mindset from the inner circle trader and how to do this and how to do that. And now we're at the dance now. We're staring at the chart. It's during that 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock hour. We know that there's going to be a silver bullet. We know that it's likely going to draw to a liquidity pool that's pretty obvious where it's likely to go. But here you are, sitting there looking at price. When you have a model and you have all the proper motivation that led you up to the point where now you've made the decision, you went to sleep the previous day, you woke up with every expectation that you're going to go into this following the plan, following the model, following the rules. You're looking for this setup to form. And now you're here. You're in front of the charts. You're there. And you do what? You act impulsively. You see something that is not your model. Perfect example. I'll give you something. You've done the work. You've done the analysis. You've listened to me talk about what I think the market's going to likely draw to on a higher time frame. You committed to the idea that that's probably what you're going to subscribe to. So you're only going to focus in that direction. And that's the proper mindset. Not that you should be handheld, but that's why I do it. So that way you can keep your premise, your bias, the narrative focused on that time frame draw. You won't be 100%, but now because you're in front of the charts, subconsciously you're demanding that you're 100%. Is that practical? Is that realistic? Is that something that anyone could reasonably expect to have, especially if they're new? No, of course not. But that motivation that carried you to that moment, where now you're in front of the charts, you're ready to do your model, you're ready to pull the trigger. All you have to do is wait for that fair value gap to form, because it's going to be moving up quickly, and it's going to create that little buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and it's going to form it in a place where it allows you to capture 12 to 15 handles. So that means your minimum criteria for the trade would be met. It's really there. But unfortunately, it's not there yet. And what happens is you start seeing price run. And in your mind, you're thinking, this is going to be one of those times where it's not going to create a fair value gap. And here I am. I did all the work. I got all this stuff drawn on my chart. I have all the lipstick. I have all the motivation. I'm here now. And I know what's going to happen, because Murphy's Law says that whatever can go wrong is going to go wrong, and it's going to run without me. And I'm not going to be able to accept that, because I've done all this preliminary analysis. I've done all this preliminary workup, listening to this guy, Jawbone. I'm all pumped up. I'm ready to go. And here it's running. It just took off 8 handles straight, one shot. It's running. Your mind's going to be tricked by that because you haven't watched price enough. That motivation to do the right things gets replaced with impulsiveness, because of the lack of experience, the lack of the doing of it, being there. Not just simply watching price. That's the first stage. Is tapering just the first stage. Then you got to do it with a demo and submit to the idea that the rules still have to be applied. But then with live fund trading, or the equivalent thereof, where you can lose something, your funded account, challenge account, your funded account, or your live account, you want to capture money. And the lack of experience that you have, and everybody has that lack in the beginning. And all of you, and I was not exempt from this, I wanted to get through that stage quickly. I wanted to leave it behind me in my rearview mirror. I want to be able to say, yeah, see you later. I ain't never going back to that town again, which is ignorance, neophyteville, beginner. Like, you want to be able to leave the ranks of a newbie. When I'm encouraging you to live there for a little while, because that's going to teach you who you are. And it's going to show you the character flaws that you have, that you're pretending you don't have, that you've been hiding from yourself your entire life. However long you've been on a spinning rock, all of you have character flaws. I don't hide mine. I don't hide it. I tell you where they are. I tell you where my weaknesses are. Because when I was a younger man, I tried to pretend they didn't exist. And they were impediments to me. They held me back. They were the barriers that I hugged. I held on to them. I held on to it like something wrapped in barbed wire. It's not comfortable, but you get used to that uncomfortable state, and it becomes normal for you. Like, that's why abusive relationships go on. Spouses that beat their wives because they're weak men. That women train themselves because they have children. They don't want to break that family up. They know what that man's doing to her is not right. But they allow it to go on because it becomes normal for them. And change is a little bit more scary because it begins to bring in more uncertainty. And as humans, we don't like uncertainty. But in this industry, you chose to be in one that is always uncertain. There's nothing 100%. All the things that I have, all the things that I share, my track record, when I pull it out and I point to something before it happens, look around. You've been walking with me now for almost 2 years now publicly. How many things did I call and not happen? Very, very, very small number of that. But how many things were right and correct and where the market went to? You can't reasonably expect to be like that in the beginning. And when you learn from someone,
when I was a martial artist, I wouldn't use the guy that was teaching. And then
What is up, everybody? How are you?
anything that they did.
Hello, Movie Mania. क्या हाल चाल है सभी का?
Because I had this deep ingrained necessity for me to be significant. Because while I was growing up in Cardboard City, I was cardboard.
दिवाली है, लोग पटाखे फोड़ रहे हैं, सो उसकी भी आवाज आएगी अभी बैकग्राउंड में. But let's not get lost of our charts. So just give me a second. Okay. I know थोड़ी आवाज डिम हो सकती है. I need to change my mic, I think. Alright, so अभी काफी ज्यादा प्राइस मूव किया पिछले फ्राइडे, एंड आई नो मैं बहुत दिन बाद आ रहा हूँ लाइव, बट आई वाज प्रिटी बिजी ऑन अदर प्रोजेक्ट, सो मेरा टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा उधर चला जाता था, एंड ट्रेड एग्जीक्यूट करना, स्ट्रीम करना वाज नॉट पॉसिबल, सो आई हैव नॉट बीन एट माय होम मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. So right now I'm looking at my charts and I'm trying to figure out कि आज क्योंकि यूएस हॉलीडे है, सो प्राइस में ज़्यादा वॉलेटिलिटी तो नहीं रहेगी. जो वॉलेटिलिटी रहेगी वो 9:30 पे अभी तुम्हें 6 मिनट बाद देखने को मिलेगी. बट इधर एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ ये है कि प्राइस में मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, बिकॉज आई नीड मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन. ठीक है, बिकॉज यहाँ पे डेली एसएमटी बन चुका है, एंड आई नो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी वैलिड, और क्योंकि हमने प्रीवियस मंथ हाई को स्वीप किया था. ठीक है, सो एवरीथिंग यू सी हियर, लेट मी जस्ट रिमूव दैट. Let me hide them and put my time cycles. So हमने मंथली हाई के ऊपर स्वीप किया है यहाँ पे इस जगह पे, एंड हमारा मंथली लो नीचे है विथ दैट एसएमटी, और लो रेजिस्टेंस लिक्विडिटी रन है हमारे नीचे. ठीक है, एंड मंथली का एक एफवीजी भी है. सो इफ प्राइस इज रियली ब्रेकिंग डाउन, बिकॉज ये ऐसा मूव था जहाँ पे इंस्टीट्यूशंस सभी को पार्टिसिपेट करने का मौका ही नहीं दिए. आई डोंट थिंक अगर ये बेरिश है, शॉर्ट टर्म बेरिश है, तो प्राइस को इसके ऊपर जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, बट आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि that's your trade idea. My current focus is this FVG. I hope दिख रहा हो. So ये 4 घंटे का और डेली का दोनों का ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट FVG है, एंड नीचे भी हमारा एक डेली का FVG है. यू कैन सी दैट हियर. अभी हम डेली चार्ट में हैं, सो ये डेली के हैं. ये वाला 4 आवर्स का है. मैं उसे थोड़ा रिफाइन किया हूँ, वैसे तो डेली पे रखते हैं, लेकिन डेली का बहुत छोटा हो जाएगा ना. देखो तो 72 हैंडल्स कहाँ, और ये है 138, तो मुझे 4 आवर्स का ज़्यादा अच्छा और प्रोमिनेंट दिख रहा है. सो बैंक हॉलीडे है. यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ पे लॉन्ग खोल रहे होंगे. ठीक है, एंड बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा डेली रेंज है ये. सो और हमारा न्यू वीक ओपनिंग गैप भी नीचे अगर मैं दिखाऊं, तो ये है अपना न्यू वीक ओपनिंग गैप. इफ यू कैन सी हियर, यहाँ पे वो इस वीक का है. थोड़ा सा गला खराब है मेरा. सो यहाँ पे न्यू वीक ओपनिंग गैप है और प्राइस अभी तक यहाँ नहीं आया. सो व्हाट आई एम एंटिसिपेटिंग इज एटलीस्ट अ ड्रॉप इनटू दैट, एंड दैट्स व्हाट I think ICT is also looking for that same area. Anyways, अभी हमारा 90 मिनट का SMT डाइवर्जेंस है, और 4 आवर्स की क्लोजिंग भी 32 मिनट्स यानी कि 10 AM पे होगी. ठीक है, ईस्टर्न टाइम में, और 1 घंटे में अभी हम टेस्ट कर रहे इसे. 4 आवर्स में तो काफ़ी प्रिटी बेरिश है, क्योंकि बॉडीज लोअर पोर्शन में क्लोज कर रहा है इस इस FVG के, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट FVG, अगर बॉडीज इसके ऊपर क्लोज कर देता है देन आई विल बी वेटिंग फॉर दिस लेवल, और अगर ये भी फिर वॉयलेट हो जाता है, इनवैलिड हो जाता है, तो फिर ये इक्वलाइज है ही यहाँ पे। सो प्राइस शुड नॉट गो अबव दैट अगर इसे सेल साइड डिलीवरी देनी है तो। दिस इज अ वेरी मोस्ट लाइक प्रोमिनेंट एरिया फॉर द शॉर्ट्स इफ यू आर लुकिंग। एंड आवरली में let me open the 90 minutes cycle. And then what we are going to look at 5 minute चार्ट में अगर देखें तो ये काफी क्लीन हाइज थे यहाँ पे, एंड दे हैव टेकन देम आउट। एंड लंदन सेशन का हाई इंटैक्ट है दोनों में ही, एंड वी हैड दिस AM सेशन में SMT divergence 90 minute cycle का, and price is literally reacting from that level, and I have also to see this 1 मिनट में ओपन है अब, ठीक है। सो लेट्स सी how price react. I'm not going to chase anything here, ठीक है। I want to see how it delivers. दो डेली विक्स हैं जिन्हें मैं मॉनिटर कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। सो फर्स्ट विक पे कुछ खास रिएक्शन नहीं रहा, एंड वी आर एंटरिंग इनटू दिस सेकंड विक जो था डेली का भी जस्ट मैंने बनाया, उसके अपर क्वाड्रेंट पे, ठीक है। एंड नीचे हमारा FVG और हमारा न्यू वीक ओपनिंग गैप है। सो these lows looks too smooth here, एंड आवरली में हमारी 30 मिनट्स बाद क्लोजिंग है, एंड 30 मिनट की कैंडल, ये वाली कैंडल बहुत बुलिश है। सो इफ दे डोंट सेंड इट अप अगेन, वी आल्सो हैड दिस इन्वर्जन, प्राइस का एक अच्छा रिएक्शन मिला यहाँ पे, क्लोज बिलो दिस। सो नेक्स्ट 15 मिनट्स so this is a 15-minute FVG. Price should be closing below this FVG, okay? So looking at that, and it can go just like zigzag and then drop. Raj, bank holiday, so I will be studying, okay? No, mostly I'm not going to take trades today. Bank holiday and shit like that, I don't like it. Even though they are very smooth and price should be moving toward the downside, I have to wait, guys. I have to wait, be patient. यहाँ पे एक और easy target हमारा हो सकता है low resistance liquidity run, which is so this FVG, which is just below this liquidity, is very important to watch. We are testing that high again. Let's look into regular trading hours. Very huge gap, भाई साहब, almost 400 handles, like almost 400 points का open है आज का मंडे में, like that's very huge, that's damn, like literally that's so much. अभी भी यहाँ पे ये वाला हाई इंटैक्ट है, ये है 24,900 के आसपास का लेवल है। So let's look at that, and then we have this upper half of that FVG. Price should be if it's bearish, then it shouldn't be trading above this. But if it wants to go one more time up, then down, then it should be like testing this level and this high. But I'm just looking at ES right now, what it's doing. ES इस हाई के ऊपर एक बार और जा रहा है और ये नहीं जा रहा है. So it's like completely decoupled market right now. This is not an ideal condition जहाँ पे तुम्हें risk लेना चाहिए, ठीक है? And I trade with real money, so risk is real as well. Okay, so we are testing that inversion FVG SMT here और 26 मिनट बाद closer है 4 hours का भी. So let's look at this price action, guys. It could easily fool you up, like easily तुम्हें यहाँ पे फूल बना सकता है प्राइस अभी, बिकॉज यू सी प्राइस को अगर मूव करना होता और अबे अगर हमें ये जानना होता कि जिस ऑर्डर फ्लो जिस डायरेक्शन में हम देख रहे हैं प्राइस में स्ट्रेंथ हो, उस डायरेक्शन में ये दोनों को साथ में मूव करना चाहिए था, ना कि ऐसा ये पहले जा रहा फिर वो. अगर ये बाद में भी जाता है देन वी कुड जस्ट लाइक गेट सम पार्ट ऑफ इट मे बी अप टिल हियर. सो यहाँ तक एशिया लो है हमारा, जो एशिया लो आज का वो हमारा लिक्विडिटी एरिया है, ठीक है, यानी कि 18 का ओपनिंग. सो प्राइस यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा जिगजैग करके फिर उसको फिल करके देन तब भी जाएगा तो फिर मैं देख सकता हूँ, बट अभी तो नहीं बिल्कुल भी. until we break below this low here in ES. ES का ये वाला लो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अगर ये टूटा तो फिर उसके बाद मैं कुछ भी देखूंगा. अभी it's very risky here. For me it's very risky. Someone else it might not be. So it's totally on you guys how you look at it. Okay, 5 minute का closure हो गया है, and this 5 minute might come here and test that, and there we can get a chance. Okay, so if it's fast, then it should be just going below all of these regular trading hours. ES में भी ये वाला लो अब ब्रेक हो चुका है, यानी कि ये मूव रियल है, ट्रू है. बट अगेन यहाँ पे एक और 90 मिनट का SMT बन सकता है, सो बीइंग वेरी कॉशियस हियर. ट्रैप कर सकता है यहाँ पे लोगों को, एंड हम इस लो के वो इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल पे भी पहुंच चुके हैं. ये VG जो मैं देख रहा था. Okay, now just look at this ES, guys. So that's where तुम्हें थोड़ा सा cautious, इसलिए मैं ये ट्रेड नहीं ले रहा था. ये तो अभी फंस गए होते, ये देख के, हो सकता है ये फिर से एक बार और ऊपर जाए। Oh. Not interested here anymore, guys. So अभी मैं at least 30 मिनट्स वेट करूंगा, यानी कि मैं जो भी ट्रेड देखूंगा वो अराउंड 10:30 के बाद होगा। सो आई गेस दैट वाज इनफ। मैंने फ्रेम किया था ये वाला आइडिया, एंड दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड, बट I was not watching trades. I was not watching to trade today. Anyways, we have lots of liquidity below जहाँ पे प्राइस अभी भी जा सकता है, एंड मुझे ये देखना है ये कैंडल काफी बड़ा बने नीचे की तरफ, तो फिर कुछ सोच सकते हैं। अभी फिलहाल तो वेट करो, ठीक है। बहुत सारा तुम्हें अभी ट्रेड मिल देखने को मिल सकता है आगे आने वाले टाइम में। अभी यहाँ से यहाँ तक का पूरा मूव है, अगर ये नीचे जाएगा तो 1500 पिप्स, एंड यू जस्ट नीड अ स्मॉल पोर्शन ऑफ इट। Alright guys, so I guess that's enough for today's video. We'll see you tomorrow, क्योंकि हम लोग काफी देर से अब बैठे हुए हैं। I'm ending my stream, so good luck, good trading with your setups, and I'll see you tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, because मैं कब लाइव आऊंगा मुझे भी नहीं पता, ठीक है। So take care boys, over and out.